wild heart of Ligerzero haunts again. War, born for the hunt, made to settle the score. Wild Zoid core in a lion's frame. Every kill burns the Gylo's name. A saber's gone, but the claws remain. Upgraded fury in the cold terrain. Helen thinks they matched our breed, but the Zero runs on a predator's crane. Monster machine, Zero strike, fast as fire. Rubber light up, blinded wire. Teeth like blades, heart that's wild. Hunters sensing empire sound. No shield, no mercy, no place to hide. The Zero hunts till the enemy's pride has died. Zero strike, fast as fire. Rubber light up, blinded wire. Teeth like blades, heart that's wild. Hunters sensing empire sound. No shield, no mercy, no place to hide. The Zero hunts till the enemy's pride has died. The Zero hunts till the enemy's pride has died. Helen stole the blueprints, they built their own. Now size fields see the Zero throne. Lion versus lion, black and white. Brother killing brother in the steel moonlight. The real hunt starts when the fury roars. A T-Rex shadow with the same wild core. Two beasts born for the killing game. Mocking eyes, they ignite the flame. Monster machines. The arms race is over. Now it's war without chains. Outside, only the wild survive. Zero strike, pounded pockets falling. Berserk fury on intercept course. Brace, brace. Zero strike and fire's blade. From the wild core war is made. Every ball step, every roar. Marks the land with the empire's war. Face the fury, face the fight. The Zero runs till the end of night. The Zero runs till the end of night. Zero strike and blood blade. From a lion of blood and wire. Teeth like blades, heart that's wild. Hunters sensing empire sound. No shield, no mercy, no place to hide. The Zero hunts till the end of night. The Zero hunts till the end of night. Strong condoms, cyber creeps, monster machines. Out war without chains. Monster machines. Time to play as roar. The war begins once more. The war begins once more. The pressure monster machines. The Zoids. In the heart of the central continent plains, where steel beasts charge and lead blood stains, the Helic Republic holds the line, a shining cause by fate designed. From the shadows of the dark continent, the Gylos rise, malevolent intent with saber teeth and iron fists. The black machines scream through the mists. Mogers crawl and iguans bite, but guttos roar and join the fight. From ancient wrecks their war begins, now only steel and fire wins. Monster machines! It's the war for planet Z, where the brave will live and tyrants die. Zoid to Zoid, sky or land, Republic steel makes its stand. Liger's clash, simmer tigers scream, salamanders scorch the dream. Doubtulous rises through smoke and flame, and iron cones fall to shame. It's the war for planet Z, where the brave will live and tyrants die. Zoid to Zoid, sky or land, steel makes it stand. Ligers clash, shiver tigers scream. Salamanders scorch the dream. Godzilla rises through smoke and flame, and iron comes fall to shame. Mogas swarm like worms of war, but laser jaws even every score. Red horns stomp with ruthless pride, but Godzilla meets them eye to eye. Through jungles thick and burning skies, the Ligers run where valor flies. Against the saber tiger lies, as their claws strike true, Republic never dies. Monster machines, the Nibus bones, they fuel the dark, but freedom burns with a righteous spark. Old empires rise, but never last. Helix stands, the die is cast. Monster machines, it's the war for planet Z. Let the tyrants hear our battle cry. From godlike beasts to raptor speed, we fight for honor, not for greed. Sky turns red, steel gods fall, and the Hillic heart outlast them all. Raise your fist and scream with pride. The Zoids of freedom will not hide. A war for planet Z. Let the tyrants hear our battle cry. Lie in chains, and Redhorn Rex rust in the rains. Lingers walk the fields they won, and Z turns slowly toward the sun. This is our world, this is our fight. Zoids of Hillic burn through the night. For planet Z we rise, we fall, but freedom stands above them all.
Metallic giants rise from iron grounds. Blue guardians down the heart. Lights and fury in the sky.